Snowflake Frost Whispers, The Infinite Ice. Part 1, The Arrival Day 1. The Mi-24 helicopter sliced through the white void, a black silhouette against a horizon that no longer existed. Only frost, wind, and an eternal storm. Inside the cabin, Jack Frost gripped his drone controller like a weapon, the vibration of the rotors syncing with his heartbeat. The temperature outside was -40, and the air inside felt no warmer. They were entering the Ural Mountains, a range older than myth, home to legends whispered even in Moscow bars, something buried in the ice that remembers the Gulag. A distorted Russian voice cracked through the radio. "Zima Bastion, this is Major Ivan Drago, landing pad clear." Jack looked out the side window. Below, through swirls of red snow, a circle of floodlights glowed. Zima Bastion, the NATO forward base no one was supposed to know existed. 12 soldiers, 12 ghosts. The snow wasn't white anymore. It shimmered crimson, poisoned by old Chernobyl dust. The helicopter touched down hard. The side door slammed open and the cold came in like a living thing. Standing in the blizzard was Major Drago, half Russian, half American, all steel. His beard was laced with frost, and his eyes reflected the aurora overhead, a pulsing red line slashing the sky. "Welcome to the edge of the world, Frost," he said in a low growl. "Here, rules keep you breathing." Jack followed him through metal gates into the outpost. Every sound, the creak of snow under boots, the hum of generators, echoed like a prayer in an ice cathedral. Inside the operations room, frost covered the walls like fungus. Drago placed a black box on the table. Inside, a gemstone glowed faintly blue. "The Ural gem," Drago said. "Top secret. It measures magnetic waves from beneath the glacier. We keep it safe, we stay alive." He looked at the team, 12 soldiers from 6 countries, all pretending not to shiver. Then came the rules. Drago recited them like commandments carved in ice. Rule 1, never follow the whispers. Rule 2, never open the gate. Rule 3, never shoot the ice. Rule 4, never stare at the red aurora. Rule 5, never trust what sounds human. Jack almost laughed, but Drago's stare cut through the thought. Then, before anyone could ask, Ryan Blaze, the 20-year-old rookie, lifted his phone and shouted, "Say hi to 10 million viewers, boys. #FrozenHell." Drago's face went still. The gem's glow pulsed once, faintly red. Outside, thunder rolled across the tundra. Hours later, the storm worsened. Red aurora spread across the sky like spilled blood. Jack sat alone in the drone bay, reviewing footage of the landing. Each frame shimmered with static. Then something appeared in the playback. A shadow, a humanoid shape running beside the helicopter, faster than any machine. He froze the frame. It wasn't a shadow. It had white eyes and a grin made of ice. The door opened behind him. Drago stood there silent. "You saw it," he said flatly. Jack nodded. "What was it?" Drago exhaled, vapor coiling like smoke. "Something that sleeps beneath us. The old tribes called it Chernobog of ice. The miners called it the Ural Ancient. We call it nothing because we don't speak its name." Then his voice softened, human, for the first time. "There are things in this snow that hear you when you say them." Jack didn't ask more, but he noticed the veins on Drago's neck, faintly glowing under his skin blue, almost like the gem. Cyclone Twist 1. Drago wasn't entirely human. His blood carried the heritage of the Yeti clan, bred for cold, cursed to endure it. That night the wind howled like wolves. The base lights flickered. In the distance, something screamed, a metallic echo that made the metal walls hum. Inside the mess hall, Alexei Volkov, the medic, stared blankly at the wall. His breath fogged the air in bursts, too fast, too shallow. Jack sat across from him. "You okay, Alexei?" Volkov didn't blink. "I smell Chernobyl," he murmured. The air tastes radioactive. Jack frowned. You're just tired. Volkov's spoon slipped from his hand and clattered on the table. Then he screamed. His eyes rolled white. His veins turned black. Steam poured from his mouth as if his lungs were boiling. The skin on his face cracked like porcelain, and underneath, faint ice light burned. Jack lunged forward. Drago shouted, "Don't touch him." Volkov's scream deepened into a growl, not human, not alive. Then silence. He turned his head slowly toward Jack, smiled through cracked lips, and whispered. The gulag never ended. The power went out. Every screen in the base flashed to life again, showing grainy footage of prisoners in chains, faces twisted in cold agony. Over them, text scrolled in Russian. They are still here. Ryan's phone buzzed violently. His live stream had resumed on its own, 12 soldiers now seen by millions. Comments flooded the chat. This is fake. WTF was that? Is this ARG? Jack snatched the phone away. The camera feed distorted. Behind them, barely visible, a shape stood in the hallway, tall and still. Hours later, they burned Volkov's body in the snow pit. Or tried to. The flames froze. The body didn't burn, it crystallized. Cracks spread through the ice, deep into the ground. From below came a sound like thunder, but rhythmic, breathing. Drago's voice cut through the wind. It's awake. Jack looked down. The gem on Drago's chest now glowed blood red. Twist 2. The radiation wasn't the only curse. Chernobyl frost carried the souls of dead prisoners, merging with the glacier's god. Their memories were the storm itself. The sky erupted. Red aurora split into 3 arcs, swirling like eyes. Snow turned black, then white again. The base trembled as something massive moved under the ice. Jack's last words before the comms cut. We're not alone out here, and it's already inside. Part 2. Voices of the Storm, Days 214. The storm never stopped. By the second dawn, the horizon had vanished, a white ocean with no up, no down. The aurora hung overhead like a crimson wound, shifting with an intelligence of its own. Inside Zima Bastion, heat flickered, metal creaked. Every breath Jack took turned to frost midair. They were down to 9 men. Drago stood at the map table, coat open, gem glowing faintly at his chest. Jack watched him from the corner, studying the unnatural calm. Even in the cold, Drago didn't shiver. His eyes were milky in the half-light, reflecting the storm as if it were speaking through him. Ryan Blaze hadn't stopped recording. His phone streamed non-stop, 12 million viewers still watching, convinced this was a horror stunt. Comments scrolled in endless lines. Fake. That blood looks real. This dude's shaking, give him an Oscar. Jack wanted to smash the phone, but he didn't. Maybe the world needed to see. The mother's voice, night 2. At 300 hours, Jack woke to the sound of someone humming. A woman's voice. Soft, familiar. He sat up, frost cracking off his eyelashes. The sound came from the hallway, from the storage wing sealed since the explosion. He knew that voice. His mother's lullaby. The one she used to sing when the bombs fell in Syria before she died in the evacuation. He rose slowly, flashlight trembling. Mom! The corridor stretched endlessly, walls lined with frost that pulsed faintly red. The light flickered, and for a moment the hallway looked like a hospital, his old childhood ward. Jack. The whisper was right behind him. He turned, nothing. He ran, the light flickered faster. Suddenly the wall's breath. Frost moved. Faces formed in the ice, soldiers, civilians, screaming silently. He dropped the flashlight. The beam rolled and froze on a door. Do not enter. From behind the door came his mother's voice again, calm, gentle. Come home, Jack. The handle turned by itself. A breath of warm air spilled out. the impossible scent of his mother's perfume. Jack reached forward. Drago's voice thundered behind him. Rule 1, never follow the whispers. A gunshot, the door exploded. Jack fell backward. Out of the smoke came a dozen faint shapes, translucent, moving like marionettes. They weren't ghosts, they were images broadcast telepathically into his mind. The Ural ancient was hacking their memories. Jack screamed. The base alarms triggered themselves, but instead of sirens, his headset flooded with static and laughter. Hundreds of overlapping human voices giggling in unison. In the drone bay, his controller blinked to life. The drone, still outside, launched on its own, slicing through the storm with a mind not his own. Its camera streamed a live view to Ryan's channel. The world saw the glowing red eye of something moving beneath the ice. 50 million viewers now. The chat exploded. And then the feed went black. The stranger, day 7. The week crawled by in a blur of static, frozen meals, and sleepless paranoia. Every shadow looked like a shape waiting to stand. On the 7th morning, the storm thinned for the first time in days. A figure appeared beyond the outer fence, waving frantically. Help, I'm lost. Ryan was the first to notice. He zoomed in on his phone camera. The man wore tourist gear, bright yellow parka, snow goggles, hands trembling. Jack grabbed his rifle. Nobody opens that gate. Ryan turned the camera on him. He's dying out there. Rule 2, never open the gate. But millions of viewers were typing, save him, do it for humanity, don't let him die. Ryan's hands shook as he typed the override code. The gate moaned, metal scraped metal. Drago appeared behind him, too late. Blaze stopped. The tourists straightened. For a moment, the world froze. Then the man's parka split. A spined arm of ice burst through his chest, 10 feet of muscle, fur, and frozen crystal. The Yeti's head rose into view, skin translucent, eyes white fire. It roared, the sound shattering the tower lights. Automatic rifles opened up. Bullets hit its body and froze midair, hanging in a magnetic field of cold. The creature's jaw shifted. For a heartbeat, it had Jack's face, then his mother, then Drago. Ryan screamed, "Oh my God, it's real." Jack pulled him down as the thing charged. Drago fired an RPG. The explosion blew snow and gore 100 feet high, but the Yeti was gone. In its place, a hole. A perfect circle of melted ice leading straight down into the glacier. Drago stared into the pit. His breath came in short bursts. "It's not just one," he whispered. "It's a hive." The dog that spoke, day 14. By the second week, their numbers were down to 5. Food froze before it could boil. The air smelled metallic. Jack patrolled the perimeter at dusk. The aurora shimmered red gold like blood in water. He heard claws crunching snow. The base shepherd, Vasca, limped into view. His fur was matted with frost. "Hey boy," Jack murmured, crouching. "You're still alive." The dog whined, then spoke. "I was born in the gulag. We were the test dogs." Jack froze. What the hell? Vasca's body split open. His ribs unfolded like insect wings made of ice. From them sprouted frozen feathers, sharp as glass. "We remember the pain," the voice continued in perfect Russian. The creature launched itself skyward, colliding with the radio tower. The explosion flung Jack backward. Inside the wreckage, he saw movement. Volkov crawling through debris, half of his face gone, glowing white beneath the skin. "Volkov," Jack shouted. The medic turned. His eyes were pure light. "I'm not your enemy," he rasped. "I'm theirs." He tore the pin from a flare grenade and hurled it into the shattered base. Flames ignited the dog's corpse, which screamed, a chorus of 50 human voices trapped inside one throat. Jack and Volkov fell side by side in the snow, gasping. The gem on Drago's chest flared red again. "It's spreading," Volkov whispered. "Every soul they froze is waking." They dragged themselves inside the wrecked communications room. Half the walls were gone, and the red aurora spilled inside like liquid fire. Volkov sat against the wall, trembling. His blood had stopped freezing. Steam rose from his skin. Jack noticed the frost marks forming patterns across his neck, runes, old Russian letters. "What's happening to you?" Volkov looked up, smiling weakly. "The frost doesn't kill me anymore. It listens." Jack's eyes widened. "You mean?" "I hear them," Volkov interrupted. "Every prisoner, every soul beneath the ice. They're not dead. They're waiting for someone to lead them." Jack stared into the storm through the broken glass. He could feel it now too, the whispers threading through the wind, tugging at his veins. He wasn't sure which heartbeat was his anymore. The outpost lights flickered, then died. Only the aurora remained, pulsing like a heartbeat. Twist 3. The Chernobyl frost doesn't just infect, it awakens. Volkov becomes a bridge between the dead and the living, commanding the zombie army of the Gulag buried beneath the glacier. Twist 4. Jack begins to change. His blood resists the cold. His vision sees through snow. The storm itself starts whispering his name. At 200 hours, Jack climbed the observation tower. He looked across the endless plain of ice. For the first time, he saw shapes moving underneath the snow, thousands of them, crawling, forming letters that spelled one word: "Return." He whispered to himself, voice trembling. "Return what?" The aurora flickered, forming a symbol across the entire sky, the trident-shaped rune from the gem. From below, Volkov's voice echoed. "The god wants its heart back." Jack looked down. The gem around Drago's neck glowed red through the windows of the command room. Then, for the first time, he heard the whisper clearly inside his head, soft as breath on glass. "Give me back my heart, Jack Frost." And in the same instant, his drone camera switched on by itself. A live feed began streaming again. 80 million people now watched the end of the world in real time.